Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hope you are all having an amazing day today. My name is Lex and welcome back to some more GTA 5 where we're looking at some more of the new cars that were added in the latest DLC update. Oh, that's probably a good advertisement for not driving on the wrong side of the road around a blind corner. But that does introduce today's car quite well. So this right here is the new retro classic Infernus based on the old Infernuses from the old games brought and modernized into GTA 5. And this is based on the Ferrari F40 mostly. And it just looks so 80s. These rear tail lights in this car, you could not get more 80s than that. They are so damn 80s. And of course, with all the other cars that are in the new update, this is tunable, so we're going to be going ahead and checking out this car, looking at all the details, and then doing a couple different versions. Usually like a subtly modified and an extremely modified version of this car. But before we get into all of that, there's going to be some comments and questions on the screen. If you would like your comments and questions featured, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'll pick some at random and feature them at the start of the next video. So I'm feeling, going up here today, this is not the sort of place we usually modify a car. But of course, I should point out we are in single player, and I'm going to be using menus customs to modify this because it's just so much better modifying this out in the real world instead of sitting in a sort of dark and dingy, boring garage. Where should I park up? Let's park over here, and let's get round to checking this baby out. So there we go, that's all repaired, and let's have a closer look. So there is the front end. This is a really weird color scheme, by the way. We'll definitely be changing this very early on in the build. And then we have the back, got nice set of details, very 80s looking lights right here, grotty Turismo. And then on the interior, also the engine bay, there's the engine bay right there, not too detailed, but they only needed to detail the top, they sort of just hide the bottom, which is perfectly fine. And then onto the interior, again, Rockstar have been pulling out all the stops when it comes to interior. Instead of like just sticking in one that was already made, they've actually gone ahead and made some custom ones again, which is good news because they've really been slacking in previous builds. And this one is actually a pretty low mile car, which is pretty good compared to the Infernus, which had like 1,000,000 miles on it. So there's the interior. We've got a tiny little radio right there. We've got the 6-speed or possibly a 5-speed, not entirely sure. I'm assuming because that's got reverse there, that's definitely a 5-speed. Then we have all the temperature gauges, the window washing button, and then our seats right here. And also the grotty badge right there on the interior. Don't know how much we could change on this interior. I assume the red, seems it's matching with the wing mirrors, is going to be part of the secondary colour on this one. We'll find that out in just a second, but let's jump in. And first of all, actually, I just want to open up the boot and the things, because I almost forgot. Oh! Do you know what? I almost missed this detail, and I'm so glad I just remembered. Right, let's just open up the trunk. Oh, that is awesome. I love these sort of like massive part of bodies that are hinged. That is so damn cool. Also, I assume this has got pop-up headlights as well, or is that just going to keep it? Let's just go back and see. And it does. Oh, beautiful. I am in love with that. They are very, very small pop-up lights, but they do pop up when they light up. That is so damn cool. Right, let's just go ahead and jump back because I just want to look at these rear doors again. Here we go. Here's the trunk, which actually has the lights attached to it, which is really cool. And then we have the hood on the back. Oh my god. I just want to open this a couple more times. That is so cool. The whole back end with the whole light system. That's what it looks like underneath. Absolutely fantastic. And there is the engine bay and all the exhausts. Brilliant. Right. Let's now jump in and modify this thing. So let's just go ahead and go to menus customs. Right here, and start in Benny's Lowrider Mods, so there's nothing to really pick from right here, no liveries, no nothing like that. On the wheels, well, these wheels are very similar to wheels that we can already get, so I guess we'll just go ahead and change all these now. So let's just find something that's going to match. These are very modern wheels, they definitely don't suit it very well. Let's just keep going and finding something a bit more suited. Ooh, actually, these ones sort of work, the organic Type O's. I don't know. I'm always sure whenever I pick a wheel, you guys get really angry because none of them ever fit. Because I'm never perfectly happy with the wheels that we get in this game. Maybe we'll go for the Cosmo. Actually, they're a bit too GDM style, aren't they? I don't know. What we've got on the high end, probably something disgusting and not going to suit at all again. Yeah, actually, this one, the Cheetah, They're a bit too modern again, aren't they? Again, we need a retro wheel section for all these retro cars that we've got because none of this stuff fits. Do you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and just go to the stock wheels because everything else is just an absolute mess. So let's move on to the spoiler where we have a selection of 12 new spoilers. So we have the stock, then we have, which is actually another version of the stock spoiler. Holy shit, that's big. That's amazing. Then we have the secondary, which has just got the accentations on the slat parts. Then we have the carbon version. Then we have the GT wing. Pretty simple again. Then we have the secondary color and the carbon one. Then we have the sport wing, which is huge with the secondary and the carbon. Then we also have the race wing. Oh my god. That is amazing. Well, I'm going to leave that for the extreme one on the second build. So I'm just going to go for something a bit more subtle with this one. Which, do you know what? There isn't subtle on any of these. They are all really just huge. But I think that the GT wing is slightly more subtle than that stock spoiler. So I'm going to go for the GT wing in just its standard colors here. Then onto the front bumper, we have the stock, we have the lightweight, we have the classic, we have the racer, then we have the racer with the carbon, then the GT front bumper and with carbon. I'm going to leave that for the extreme one. Let's just go for something nice and basic like this lightweight one right here. I like that. I'm not too sure about the bit in the middle of these two. That lightweight one just looks so much nicer, so I'm going to go for that one. On the skirts on the side here, we have the stock. Then we have, it's basically the secondary color and then carbon versions. I'm just going to keep that on stock right there. Then on to the exhausts. Let's go around to the back here. So we have the stock, we have the carbon tipped, we have the chrome, which, that chrome looks very similar to the stock. Oh, I see, they're slightly different. Then we have the disgusting looking titanium ones. Then we have the wide exhaust. Do you know what? I would have gone for those wide exhausts if they weren't titanium. I hate the titanium texture on this thing. So I'm just going to go for the chrome tipped, or maybe actually, let's go for carbon tipped because they make it slightly more subtle. Then onto the hood. This is going to be on the front, I assume. So we have the stock hood, then we have the stock hood with stripe. Interesting. Oh, it also gets rid of the, it changes where the secondary color is. So it goes from the wing mirror to the stripe. Then we have the vented hood with stripe, vented hood with stripe, and the GT hood with stripe. I'm not sure on the stripe for this one, but this might make it look more old school. Do you know what? I'm not entirely sure on just the secondary color anyway. I might make secondary and primary the same color because I'm not really sure on this whole different color thing. Unless I'll make them black, which is probably what I'm going to do. Then on the fenders, we have the stock. This is actually going to be the engine block again. So we have the stock, then we have the primary, then we have the secondary. I'm going to go for primary on that one because I think, mind you, the secondary does look cooler, but I'm not keeping that red. So I'm going to go and stick with primary. Then on the roof, this is actually the sun strip. So we have the stock, then we have the primary, the secondary, and the carbon sun strip. I'm going to go for the primary sun strip on this one. Mind you, that actually makes it really sort of too big. So I'm just going, in fact, that's not even a sticker. That's like a whole extra bit of bodywork. Almost like a spoiler. How does that work for aerodynamics? Wouldn't the air just get caught up in that bit and just create a huge amount of drag? I could be wrong, but that does look weird. Actually, I'm going to keep it stock. I'm not going to bother with the sun strip because I'm not really feeling that at all. Then it's just a case of upgrading all the engine, the brakes, the transmission, no suspension again with this one. And then, do we have any extras? Nope. Then it's just a case of turbo. Windows will keep to a light smoke. And then doing the paint. So secondary, I'm going to go for a matte black straight away. Now, the interior stays red. This is interesting. So that's all completely separate from each other. Which means, actually, no, I was thinking of going for secondary back on that one again. But it's still going to make these secondary, so maybe not. So, hang on a minute. Does that mean that we can go to the Benny's Lowrider Mods section and then change the interior color this way? Aha! So that's how we're going to change the interior color on this one. So let's go inside and have a look. These are all going to be weird colors. I want to have this just as dark as possible. Anthracite black is perfectly fine. We don't want that to stick out too much. I liked the red and the fact that it was 80s, but I want to make this more subtle and cool, like how I would have it in real life. Then on to the primary paint. So we go for primary, classic, and ooh, I like that black. I like how that looks. Maybe just a little bit brighter. Do you know what? Dark still. I'm really just liking the sort of the monochromatic colors lately. But we could go for red because this is supposed to look like a Ferrari F40. And we can go for just bright red. Like that. Do you know what? That's perfect. That's absolutely brilliant. I'm going to go for that, and then the secondary, just keep it as the... In fact, what happens if we get a secondary classic and make that red as well? Let's have a look. Yeah, do you know what? That all in red looks perfect. I love the look of this. This is fantastic. This is not as cool as the previous one we looked at, the McLaren F1 remake, the GP one, but this is still nice. I'm still pretty into this. I'm very into these rear lights as well. These are so 80s. I absolutely love them. So there's that one, completely done. So let's move on to something that's going to be the more extreme version then. Let's go up here. In fact, isn't there a service station up here on the highway? Let's go up here and have a look. And as I correctly remembered, there is a service station. So let's go up here and pull in, and we'll modify the next one in service station. Whoa, excuse me, Mr. AMC Pacer. Here we go. Let's park her up right here. It's not a parking space, but I don't care. Oh, and by the way, because I didn't mention this in the Infernus video, but those doors are Lamborghini doors, as typical of the Diablo. I completely forgot to mention that last time, and I just remembered, so there you go. There's a little amendment from that other video. But back to our regular programming. Let's just bung this in. It's gone in for the red interior again. I guess they just always standard come out with a red interior. Right, here we go. This is going to be our more extreme version. So let's just go ahead and go to menus customs right here. And I'm going to keep the wheels stock again because I'm just not really feeling it. Unless I was to go for something like... Hang on, let's go for... Should we just go for the organic Type O and just see how it turns out? Solid, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Then onto the spoiler. This is going to be the big one, I imagine. What have we got for the racing wing right at the bottom? Actually, I'm not sure on that racing wing. It's not really my sort of thing. That's a little bigger. Actually, I quite like the stock spoiler. So I might keep the stock spoiler for this one. Yeah, I'm going to go for the stock spoiler in carbon. There we go. I'm going to keep that one in carbon. Then on the front bumper, I want to go for just the big GT front bumper with the carbon right there. Oh, that's nice. That's very similar to that one as well. Just without the little, like, triple slap bit at the bottom. It just has more of a splitter. And the sort of bar things. Actually, that's not too extreme at all, is it really? I'd say this is more extreme because that's got a bigger vent on it. So I'm going to go for that one with the carbon because that is slightly more extreme than the other one. Then onto the skirts. I'm going to go for carbon again. I'm going to make this a carbon theme one. Exhaust. We can go for the carbon tipped exhaust again, I guess. Or maybe we'll go for chrome. Let's just go for chrome. In fact, I don't like the textures on any of those. They are really weird textures. There's the carbon, which isn't actually carbon at all. Huh. Chrome it is then. Then onto the hood. Should we do a stripe with this one? I don't know. Let's just go for that one with the stripe, or maybe the GT hood with the stripe. GT hood, we already went for the GT hood on that one, didn't we? That was supposed to be the subtle one, but that just works so well. Yeah, we're going to go for that one, but we use the stripe this time just to be different. On the fenders, let's just go for the secondary color block on this one, so it stands out a little more. Then onto the roof, where... Oh, it's going to look horrible, isn't it? Let's go for the primary color, shall we? Do you know what? This one is so perfect that anything less than that just looks crap, in my opinion. Yeah, it's not going to be as good, is it? But let's see. Maybe I can work my magic with the paint. But knowing my magic with paint, I definitely won't. Okay, so I'm doing something very risky here. I'm going to try bronze. Stay with me. Secondary color. Okay, no, that is awful. We can go for metal and then... Oh, it's just... No. No. What am I doing? Okay, maybe we'll go for a blue then. Maybe something... Not the ultra blue, because we've already done one of those recently. Diamond blue. Ooh. Huh. Diamond blue. Secondary. Classic in another shade of blue. Do you know what? I really hate this. I cannot make anything that looks better than that one, because this is just utter perfection. This is just going to suck no matter what different color scheme I use. It's not going to look right. That was supposed to be sort of like a GT40 style color, but I don't think that's worked out at all. No. I'm going to say that that one's a write-off because I don't think I can find anything unless I just go really subtle again or just keep it all the same color. Maybe I just have to keep it all the same color. Let's go for the Harbor Blue and then Primary, Classic, and then go for that one on Harbor Blue as well. Do you know what? That has redeemed it a million times over. Now we just have to go ahead and just get rid of that horrible red interior. Right there. Let's go to interior color. Classic. Done. Yeah, that hasn't turned out exactly as I'd have hoped. In fact, I am now going to go to slam it. Well, there's something a bit different. We've got a slam version to end this video on. But there we go, guys. That is it for this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know by rating, commenting, and subscribing. Let me know in the comment section which one you prefer. Do you like the slammed grey one right here, or do you like the original red one right there? I'm going to say I like the slam on this one. I've got to be honest. I'm sort of swayed towards that, but that red Ferrari is absolutely perfect. But there we go, guys. That is it. I'm going to be checking out another one. We've got one more car from the latest update to check out, which we'll be doing in a following video. Whoa, he was going slower than I thought. But that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys all next time. Goodbye.